News here in college football. Updated college football playoff rankings came out last night, and obviously we did expect a shakeup after some wild results over the weekend. So we take a look at the rankings here. Of course, no surprise, Georgia on top there, followed by Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, Tennessee, Oregon, LSU, USC. Then it gets a bit foreign there. You look at 9 and 10, Alabama and Clemson. Alabama maybe even too high with two losses there. So let me ask you here, Kevin. Had they asked you to say, okay, Kevin, you do your rankings, would 1, 2, 3, 4 all be the exact same as what they are if you were the one ranking these teams?
Right now, yes, only because, Joe, we still have 3 weeks left. Ohio State has to play Michigan. So one of those teams is going to lose. TCU, they get Texas, they get Baylor, I believe, coming up. They still would have the Big 12 championship. So TCU still has a lot of work to do if they want to get into the college football playoff. And I've always believed this, Joe, that if you take care of your business, you should be there. If TCU finishes 13-0, they go 12-0 in the regular season, then win the Big 12 title game, you should play for the national championship. And Alabama should not play for the national championship if you have 2 losses. Don't give up 52 to Tennessee. Don't lose in overtime to LSU on the road. Alabama is extremely talented, but right now they deserve to be where they're at. Clemson, I think, was suspect all year, and then Notre Dame blew them out, so we could throw Clemson out, which is fine. But obviously, Ohio State and Michigan, they still got to play in Columbus Thanksgiving weekend. So winner of that game has a really good shot to get into the college football playoffs. They got to win the Big Ten title. And obviously, Georgia has put themselves in a nice position. But the only way the SEC gets 2 is if LSU beats Georgia in the SEC championships. I think Georgia's done enough to still get in with 1 loss.
Okay, Kevin, so a bit of a different conversation here when we're talking about futures odds to win the national championship. You take a look at the odds board, and of course, Georgia, I think this is a fair number on them at minus 120 to win the whole damn thing for a second consecutive year. They are followed by Ohio State plus 250. Then we have a bit of a drop-off here. Michigan, 8-1. Tennessee, 14-1. What a difference a week makes. Oregon 25-1, LSU 40-1, USC 60. And then once again, maybe being disrespected, TCU there at 80-1. So 2 questions. Do you like that value, that number on Georgia, minus 120? And who would be a bit of a sleeper maybe to take a flyer on?
I don't have a problem with the Georgia number, Joe, just because they're the best team. They won the national championship last year. They're undefeated. They just dominated Tennessee. They should be there, but also I think Ohio State's worth a look at plus 2. I really do. That it's not a crazy number. Beat Michigan. Whoever you're going to play in the Big Ten title game, you'll beat most likely. And we saw that the case last year that Michigan beat Ohio State the final game of the season in Ann Arbor. They destroyed Iowa in the Big Ten title game to get to the Final Four. And Ohio State would have done the same thing to Iowa. So Ohio State, I think, is a big revenge spot for them, not only against Michigan, but just to get to the college football playoff. When you mentioned the likes of Oregon, I talked about the Oregon play earlier against Washington. Since that Georgia game, that offense can't be stopped. And Oregon still has work to do. And they would have to win the Pac-12 title. And they would most likely, if they beat, let's say, USC, do they deserve to get in at 12-1 with the only loss to Georgia? I think they have a case. I don't know if they win the whole thing, but I think they have a case to get in. And TCU, again, you still got a lot of work to do. You really do. You got to finish undefeated just to get in. And I don't know if that's enough to win the national championship. But I do believe, though, that, the value is just with the top 2 teams. They're the best teams. We saw the best 2 teams in last year with Alabama and Georgia. And they made it to the national championship. You could argue Ohio State could have been in that mix. But I think that right now, Alabama or Georgia, rather, and Ohio State, they're the top 2. I think you're wasting money by trying to take these flyers on 25, 60, 70-1. I don't think they have a shot.
Yeah, I agree. People often get that word value mixed up. They often think it means it's got to be some gigantic, huge underdog. Whereas, like I said, I see Georgia there at minus 120. I think that's a fair number on them because they're going to be much bigger than a minus 120 money line favorite in these games here when we get to the playoff, most likely. Okay, guys, if you love what we do here at Vegas Insider, you are going to want to check out the Vegas Insider app We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We have all our latest shows, best bet videos, and podcasts, props, trends, features, news, all on the Vegas Insider app. Download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple and Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app.